So, Rishi Sunak has announced that in an attempt to repair Sick Note Britain, he's going to stop doctors diagnosing illness in favour of a third-party company, probably owned by his wife, of medically untrained people who'll be targeted to say claimants are okay to work. He says we've medicalised normal everyday problems we've always had, like not being able to actually access a doctor in the first place, waiting hours for an ambulance, delays in A&E, having mental health services slashed to the bone, the care sector being decimated, getting ill through winter because energy is unaffordable and homes are damp, and in some cases having to work multiple jobs just to survive. People are in a constant state of panic stress about the cost of living crisis the Tories have inflicted on us, with many under threat of homelessness and the further threat that if that happens, they'll be fined 2.5 grand if they're judged to be too smelly. Don't crack down on the victims of a situation you've created, you patronising cockwomble. Crack down on the corruption. Crack down on the tax evaders. Crack down on the private companies running what should be public services that rake in huge profits and pay massive bonuses to directors and shareholders while they charge their customers more for less, knowing full well that you, or more accurately we, will bail them out when it all goes tits up. Or maybe take a look at Simon Case, who was the Cabinet Secretary during the COVID and arranged the Partygate events. Don't worry, Rishi, we remember you broke the law and were fined. And he was elevated into the House of Lords by Boris Johnson, but was too ill to turn up to the inquiry. Or how about doing something about your MPs who continue to regularly drag politics into the gutter, like David T.C. Davis, the T obviously stands for total, I can't think what the C stands for, who resorted to personal attacks on Labour's Bridget Phillipson on Question Time. Or Edward Lee, who, like others, claims over £5,000 for his council tax and energy bills, in addition to his salary, but who said pensioners and the disabled cost the country too much. Or Mark Menzies, who extorted donations from an elderly party member to save him from bad people who locked him in a flat, not dissimilar to the time he used party funds to pay for rent boy services. Or maybe Suella Braverman, who was attending an extreme right-wing event in Belgium, along with Nigel Farage, Hungarian leader Viktor Orban, climate deniers, Holocaust deniers, and someone who denies the Christchurch terrorist attack happened. The event was cancelled by the authorities because they remember the last time the country was invaded by fascists. Or Liz Truss, who, despite being an MP and having completely fucked the economy when she was Prime Minister, spends her time travelling round stoking up hatred, blaming everyone else for her mistakes, and promoting her new book, the excerpts from which sound like they were written in crayon by a 6-year-old. Oh, and will we be stopping the King and Kate's money while they're not working due to sickness? Nah, thought not. But this will affect normal workers if they have to claim. Rishi said no one got anywhere without hard work. Anyone would think a multimillionaire with a billionaire family who was privately educated would earn about 30 million a year if he stayed in bed because he couldn't be asked, would piss off to America once he's pillaged as much as we let him from the country, was out of touch. And breathe. Good news on the international scene, though. It looks like we've narrowly avoided World War III for now, and we've decided to sanction the Iranian drone manufacturers who supplied the drones that hit Israel. The same companies that have been supplying Russia with drones to use against Ukraine with absolutely no sanctions for 2 years. If you might ever get ill and would like to think there'll be some support in place, please share. If you think the Tories are self-serving criminals, please subscribe. And while you're at it, why not click for notifications?